We were with David James about 2 weeks ago before the international break, and he said Pep looks aloof. He was worried about his future. Since that show with David James, Pep has signed his new contract. Simple question for you. Why do you think he signed his contract extension? It's a 1 year with an option for a second year. He hasn't been afraid to walk away from a club before. He did it at Barcelona and took a year off. He did it at Bayern Munich. And now he's at Manchester City, opting to stay. Why?
Well, I think the money they invested, we were talking about, have they replaced Company? Have they replaced Toure? Have they replaced Silva? Right now, no. But the investment they did in some players, the future is bright for City. And I think as a manager, the project that City have, and of course, they're still after the Champions League trophies, he wouldn't want to leave now because this team is his team. He's been having the backup, the financial backup to go and get the player he wants. You can argue, like he said, that, he had a few injuries with the strikers, Aguero and Jesus. But I think that team looks strong. And in a few years, that team will still be strong. So I think as a manager, you want to get into those years. You want to give you the chance to go and get that trophy that the club is cruelly missing. No other manager can bring more than Guardiola at the moment. So, of course, you can argue with the fact that, he always left when we never thought he was going to leave with the previous clubs. And I think it's the right decision for him to stay. Again, it's his team, young players that he will need to develop. They will need to adapt to the new life, to England, to the English football. And I think this year, I don't know. This year for me is a very strange one. You can see all the injuries. You can see the big team struggling a little bit, but I'm thinking a little bit far, and I'm thinking about next season. Those young players will be unbelievable. So of course, as a player, as a manager like Guardiola, you want to be there. You want to be there, and you want to be sure of being the one lifting the Champions League trophies. I'm pretty sure of that. Just hope that this year can be a year which will not leave too much mark, because with the way it's going, with the stop and go for the virus and the injuries, nobody can predict what can be, who can be at the top at the end. And I really hope they would be able to cope with that schedule and those injuries and those games, repeated games. But I trust them. I trust the club because the project and what they have in place is truly amazing. Again, I truly believe he's the coach that can bring something extra to the club. And I think it's the right decision for him to stay a little bit longer.
How much pressure is there within the club on the players and the manager to win the Champions League? Because it's what now we associate with them.
That's the only, for me, City right now, the critics they're getting is because of the success over the last 4 years. What they've done in winning back-to-back trophies, the title back-to-back, breaking all the records. Once you get there to a certain level, as soon as you drop a tiny bit, people are going to see that you're dropping and you start to become a failure. When in fact, they're 8 points behind, but with one game in hand. And if they win that game, they're only 5 points. So of course it's bad, but it's not that bad that we have to question all the players and the manager. For me, everything is going fine, not as expected, but everything should be okay. Let's see in a few weeks, like we said, Tottenham, they have like a schedule, a very heavy schedule with big teams to play against. Maybe in 5 games, the situation will be totally different. And City will be, flowing and playing flowing football, and we won't be talking about those kind of questions. I think they're going the right direction, the right way. And of course, results bring more confidence, and more confidence bring more trophies, more points. So I think they have to carry on how they do it. And I have no doubt that the future is bright for them.
Final thing on this, effectively a rebuilding process for Pep Guardiola, because Aguero's not getting any younger. Fernandinho is already in his mid-30s. Gundogan, there's a few other players in there as well, which will, in the long run, need to be replaced. But one person who is approaching his mid-30s, not quite, has been heavily linked to be reunited with Pep, someone you would have played against, Gael, is Lionel Messi. Do you expect him to maybe turn up in Manchester wearing sky blue?
It's a funny one because, as we mentioned, with all the young players coming and some big names who left the club, you can't really class this season as a transition season. But in fact, it is. You've lost big players. You haven't found the right players to replace them. You have young players coming, so you need to adapt. You need time. And now you're talking about Messi. What can you say? Messi has been the best player with Ronaldo for the last 15 years. So do the fans want him at the club? Obviously. Does the manager want him? Probably. The president? Probably. Is it the right choice? Is it the right solution? Who knows? People are saying he's past his peak. I still see him as the best player in the league, in the world. Would it be a plus for the English football? Definitely. So we can only predict something when he's there. I think Messi will improve any team he's going at. And if he comes to City, obviously with Guardiola, the team will be shaped around him. Will it be enough to cope with the big schedule that we know, the cold weather that we have in England? Nobody knows, but obviously it's a very exciting news if one day that news become real. It's a very difficult question to answer. Honestly, it's what they did together in Barcelona was magical, and you just hope that those two can be reunited again, because you think about De Bruyne, Messi, Sterling, Aguero all together. Of course, you're dreaming, but would it be the right solution? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
The amazing thing is there's still those who accuse him of not really being up there with Ronaldo because he hasn't done it outside of Spain, outside of La Liga. But you've played against him, Champions League football. You've also played against every club that was in the Premier League when you were there as well. I mean, you would have gone one-on-one with him. You would have seen him firsthand. Do you think he can make it in England? Do you think he can do it from your experience of Lionel Messi?
I think it's a discussion that you can have and that people will have until those two stop playing football. Because it is a fact that Ronaldo did it in 3 different leagues. It is a fact that Messi only stayed in Spain. But why would you leave when you are winning everything? I mean, he's part of the best team in football history. That was Barcelona. And even now that he's not performing as people want him to perform, he's still the best player with Ronaldo. So can he do it in England? I believe he can, because quality is quality, and obviously he will have a setup around him. He will have a team shaped around him, and Guardiola knows him best than any other manager to get the best from him. So I'm pretty sure it can be a success. Is it risky? Yes, it is. Is it time? Maybe it is not, because he's not young anymore. But I guess time will tell. You hear reports saying that he's not happy at Barcelona, that he wants that and he doesn't want this. Right now, it's not a question. The question is, can City do better? And then if City do better, maybe they would be able to attract someone like Messi. Right now, it's a very difficult question to answer that everybody wants to see come real.
Yeah, there are reports that Juventus want to sell Cristiano Ronaldo. The price of him perhaps being a bit too extravagant given the tough landscape that we're all living in now. Perhaps one last dance in Manchester, one in red, one in blue.